Good morning, top of the morning to all. Right now it's the AM. I just finished up a really good workout on a Friday. I'm feeling jacked, I'm feeling good, but I want to get into something that's very sincere to me. And it's been sincere to me for a long time, and it's insecurities, right? And I'm gonna get into a bit of my story here, but right now this morning, part of my goal is to spread a message, make content and whatnot. And so I opened my phone today, to make a video, and I saw this acne on my face. I'm deliberately working to clear my acne more and more every single day, but I saw like a whitehead here. It was looking not too good, and it made me put my phone down and just walk in the gym, kind of just forget about that video I was gonna make. And it made me realize how much that insecurities and imperfections of mine, my flaws, have been holding me back so long. And I'm gonna get into a bit of my story here before I get into the real core message of this video. But back in high school, I used to be very self-conscious of everything. Even after high school, I was self-conscious of my looks, the way I dressed, my hair, my acne, my body, but also the way I walked, the way I talked, the way I interacted with people, first impressions. I was self-conscious of every little thing. And that held me back so much to the point where I was inside my house 24/7, unless I had responsibilities such as like going to work or going to school, whatever it might be. And another part of this story is that I used to be a varsity athlete. I used to play soccer. I really enjoyed soccer. But into my high school years, when I was super self-conscious, super insecure with myself, I would purposely pretend that I was injured. I would often pretend I was injured or just pretend I was sick. Anything I could do to sit on the bench. It was bad. I would do anything I could to make sure I sat on the bench. And there were sometimes in practices where I would actually be trying, I kind of overlook my insecurities. But especially when it came to game time and people were watching me, I had parents there and whatever, holy shit, I would do whatever I could to be on that bench. I did not want to just do anything wrong or look bad at all, so I just pretended I was sick or hurt. That way I could sit on the bench and I couldn't be judged at all. And so part of the reason I quit my senior year was because of that insecurity. I was so insecure I couldn't even play the sport I loved anymore, and obviously something had to change. But anyways, right, obviously a lot did change, and I want to talk about how that happened, because a big part of breaking your insecurities is self-respect. A lot of men tend to think that when it comes to building their confidence, breaking through insecurities, they need to make a big change. If I hit the jackpot today, if I got rich today, holy shit, I'd feel like a brand new man. Or if I got a six-pack today, I got that new body today, I'd feel brand new. I'd be approaching girls left and right. That's not how it works. To break insecurities, you need to build your self-respect. And so I'll be honest, some of my most confident moments in life, some of the top feelings in the world, was my first 6 months to a year in the gym. And the reason is because I was building self-respect, right? And that's really how you break through insecurities. Right now, what happens is you often make this downward spiral where you're insecure, and because you're insecure, you let everything else go. And so it's like having a car. I have this car right here. Let's say I had a really old, really beat up car. And because I didn't like my car and I wanted a new one, maybe I wanted a 2025 car, I wanted a brand new car. So instead, I just let this one kind of rot. I don't maintain it. I don't clean it. I just let it get worse and worse because I don't like it anyways. That's what a lot of people are doing. That's what I was doing when it came to your insecurity, is that you don't like yourself, you don't like your lifestyle, your current position, so you just start this downward spiral where you let yourself rot. You let your car get dirty, you let your room get dirty, you don't even put effort into your day-to-day routine because you feel like you need a drastic change in order to get the lifestyle and confidence you want, when really you need to build self-respect. And so how do we do that? How did I do that? It really started with the gym, right? I was like, I really want to get in shape. And so it started with me not talking about my goals, not saying to anyone what I want to do, what I'm going to be, but just doing it. And so every night I was working out in my garage every night. Instead of gaming with the people I knew online, instead, I started putting aside an hour, 2 hours a night. When in my garage, I started just lifting some dumbbells, doing that. Every time I did that, I was building self-respect. Not only because I was breaking out of my old habits and starting new ones, but also because I was getting that quick pump, that quick satisfaction. And your pump really shows you the potential of what you could be. That's one of the beautiful parts of the gym, is that your pump shows you your potential, right? Because it's there for maybe an hour or so, and it shows you, damn, if I keep working hard, I could look like this on a day-to-day basis. And so you keep chasing it over and over and over. And so the way you break your insecurities in just a few months is by building your self-respect through your routine, by breaking the bad habits, right? If I have this old car, this car I don't like, well, guess what? I can make a much better first impression if I start maintaining it. I start cleaning it. I start taking better care of it. And so I'll look much better with my maybe 2000 Toyota beat up Corolla than somebody with a 2025 brand new Camry if theirs is dirty, theirs is not maintained. You know, they got trash all over inside, but mine looks brand new. It looks super clean. I just got the oil change, just got a wash. If it looks good, you make the better first impression, and you have much more confidence than the guy that's pulling up the 2025 Camry, but it's full of shit. It looks disgusting. Do you understand what I mean? So even if you are at rock bottom, start by just taking care of what you have, respecting what you have, respecting yourself. You know, cut your hair, get a nice haircut, wear clothes that fit you, stay well groomed, make sure you constantly are shaving everywhere so you feel good. Don't just get ready for the times you go out, the times you go to work. Get ready every single day. Start respecting yourself every single day. That's how you build the confidence quick. That's how you build the self-respect quick. That's how you feel much better about who you are much quicker. Because in 3 months, hey, 3 months, maybe you won't have the results you want. You might be a little more in shape. You might look a little better. You might look more cleaned up. But in 3 months, you will build so much self-respect that you didn't have before. And that's how you really change yourself. That's how you really change who you are and your lifestyle and your confidence. And guess what? Not only will you change that, holy shit, my nose is itchy. You know, my nose gets itchy, I think because I heard that your nose hairs vibrate when you talk, but oh my God, it's so annoying. Fuck. But anyways, what happens is when you feel good and you look good, you start performing better, right? You notice that when you wake up and you look in the mirror and you just look like a fucking Redditor, you look choppy, you don't look good, you don't feel good, you end up just like kind of sitting in bed thinking like, fuck, I don't like how I look anyways, so I'm not going to do anything about it. Anyways, oftentimes what will happen is you're going to perform better in every realm of life when you start self-respecting yourself. And the reason being is that, you know, look good, feel good. I'm sure you've heard that before. But when you genuinely look better and you feel better, you feel like you're taking care of yourself, you tend to be more confident already and perform better, right? You perform better at work. You perform better when it comes to showing up in the gym, because now you want to show up to the gym, because now you like the way you look. You like the way you're taking care of yourself. You want to do more and more. So not only do you build momentum, but you also perform better because you're more confident in your own shoes. You're not pulling up to work all sad, groggy, kind of looking down, looking all insecure. You're pulling up to work with your chin up, right? You have energy now. You feel good. You feel confident in your body, in your shoes, because you've been self-respecting yourself a lot more, right? So you perceive yourself in a much different way than you did before. And that's how it all starts. That's how you really make the initial change you want before making this drastic change to get a bunch of money or get the six-pack abs. You start with the self-respect first. And that's exactly what happened for me. I started with the self-respect first. So sure, obviously I quit sports. I was in my room 12 hours a day, honestly crying a lot of the times at night. I really felt like shit about who I was. But the moment I started working on myself, where I started, you know, working out in my garage, doing push-ups on my own, randomly going on runs every night, right? I was just doing what I could to respect myself and break out of old habits. Eventually I started cleaning my room more. I started organizing more. I started taking care of my car more. I started taking care of myself more, making sure I was well groomed, looking up hairstyles, stuff like that. And that self-respect was so empowering that it made me a lot more confident, despite not having the crazy physique I do have now. You know, despite not having maybe a job I was proud of at the time, despite not having very, very clear goals in my future, you know, it was kind of just, I was building the path as I went on. And that's really how you change. That's really how you break out of insecurities in just a few months. You don't need a drastic change. You just need a few months of true self-respect and true routine. So I really hope that helps you out, especially if you're somebody who resonates a bit or relates a bit to my story, my past, my background. You know, being that person that was so self-conscious that he had to quit his own fucking sport, the sport he loved, because of the shoes he was in, right? It only takes a few months, not a drastic change. All you need is a few months of structured routine to build that pride you want, to really fast track yourself in all these other realms of life. So I genuinely hope this helped at least one of you out. If you made it this far, you know, leave a like, leave a comment, ask me a question in my DMs, whatever it might be. I really just want to help you break through that mental barrier and create a lifestyle of self-respect and pride so that you can live a much more fulfilling life, right? Anyways, be grateful you lived another day and have a good one.